So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. I am unbelievably, incredibly excited tonight because of our special guest expert coming to us all the way from good old Canada up north, in a little place called Bowen. Little, the size of Manhattan, but as he was just telling me before the show, instead of people, they have trees. So it's a very wonderful environment, and I have to visit that place someday if he would allow me to do that. That would be phenomenal. The Mind, Body, Business Show. I'm so glad you're here. It is a show for you, for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs. And what we like to do is bring on only the best of the best. And by that, I mean those who have achieved a level of success that is at or higher than, say, you or I. And when that happens, you can learn something, and then you can model their brilliance. And by doing that, you can take your game to the next level. And the beautiful thing is each and every person I interview on this show loves helping. They love to help people to increase their livelihood, to increase their lives, to make their lives better for themselves, their families, whatever your desire is, they love to help. And Tom Matzen, who's going to be on in just a moment, is no different. But he is different in so many other ways. And we're going to get into that tonight. And you do not want to miss this show. So stick with us to the end. The Mind, Body, Business Show, that is a show I had put together because in the last 10 or so years, a little bit longer than 10, I started studying only successful people. Wanted to know what made them tick, what made them more successful than someone like me. Like, did they put on their pants both legs at a time? They find a way to run and jump and do that? Or were they just human beings that had figured something out that I had not yet? And so I began studying. And what I found was three different things kept bubbling up to the top that were pretty much the same for all of them. To each person, every one of them that was successful, they all had these three, what I call pillars of success. And they are the part of the name of this very show. Mind being mindset. To a person, they all had a very powerful and, more importantly, flexible mindset. Number two was body. And literally, they take care of themselves nutritionally and the exercise on a regular basis. Look, it doesn't mean if you're a man that you have to be an Adonis and built like Arnold Schwarzenegger was back in the day when he was a bodybuilder. It just means getting off your butt and exercising on a regular basis and taking care of yourself from a healthy standpoint. And then business. Oh my goodness. Multifaceted is the area of business. And what I found in these successful individuals, now we're talking about mentors of mine that I knew personally. We're talking about authors of books who I read, some who I've met in person, some who are not even on this planet or with us anymore. And these are highly successful people that I learned these traits from, that once you master these three areas in your business and in your life, then you will become much, much more successful than you are today. And so business, multifaceted, because these people had successfully mastered the skills necessary to create, develop, and grow thriving businesses. And skill sets such as marketing, sales, team building, joint venture partnerships, leadership. I could go on all night. There are so many skill sets. The good news is, look, to master just one, to master anything, takes a long time. And so, in my humble opinion, no one human being could master every skill set that is necessary to run a thriving business. There is one, though, that if you master it, could take the place of nearly all of the others. You want to know what it is? We'll get to that tomorrow. I'm kidding. I'll tell you right now. It is the skill set of, are you ready? Leadership. leadership, because when you've mastered the skill set of leadership, you now have the skill to lead those who have mastered the skill sets that you have yet to master. You can delegate is a fancy way of saying that. And now you can bring in and orchestrate. And what I love about our next guest expert is he has done just that. He has mastered the skill set of leadership and has a thriving business organization, and it's building and growing day by day. And I'm so thankful to be associated with him. And we're going to bring him on here in just a minute. I do promise. And another wonderful trait of highly successful people is they are voracious readers. And I'm talking about readers of books that are helpful in propelling you farther in your business and personal lives. So with that, very quickly, I'm going to segue into a little segment I like to affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
And so real quick, what I want to point out with reachyourpeaklibrary.com is that I want you to understand that you are going to be listening to greatness very soon. Not me, Tom Matzen. He's coming on right after this. And while you're listening to him, please do yourself a favor. Please do yourself a favor and write notes. And what I mean by that is write notes instead of clicking away, typing in a URL. You are going to be getting a lot of wonderful resources tonight that you can then take after the show from your notes and go visit them. Because here's what I've found from both teaching and speaking from stage and from being in the audience on both sides, is that if you were to take your gaze away, your attention away from someone like Tom for just a moment, it could be that one moment that he gives that golden nugget that could change your life forever. And I don't want that to happen to you. So just keep your attention here, take notes, stay with us to the end, engage, ask questions through the comments, because Tom loves answering questions. He loves helping people. And stick with us. So reachyourpeaklibrary.com is a website I put together. I had it put together specifically, and you won't believe this, but with you in mind. Sounds a little cheesy, but the whole purpose of this website is to give you a go-to list of supreme, high-powered books that personally helped me, propelled me in my own business and in my personal life. And this is not even a collection of every book I've read. The cool thing is I didn't even start reading till the age of 47. I'm 56. I mean, I could read. I just didn't. I didn't want to until I realized the sheer power of it. And then I began cataloging all the books that had a supreme impact on my life. And I put them here on reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Every one of those buttons goes to Amazon. This is not a quote unquote money-making website. It is here as a gift to you. So you can just pick out a book, whichever one jumps off the page. You don't even have to go through the whole list. Grab the first one that catches your eye. Get it, read it, and then come back and get the next. That is there for you, and I hope you take advantage of that. I know I should charge something for it because that way you might actually do something with it, but we'll see who does. All right, that's it. It's time to bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself. Are you ready for him? I'm ready for him. Let's do it.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Tom Matzen.
Brian Kelly, how the heck are you, brother?
Woo, baby. I'm fantastic right now.
Of those 8 characteristics listed there, I'm at least one, so that's good. You know, I got 1 of 8. You don't need all 8 to be a successful entrepreneur. You need 1, right? 1.
Oh, my
big league.
goodness.
That's it. Big league. I'm 6'3", 290. I'm big league. That's it. The rest, not so much. Not so much. But, you know, that's okay. We all have our gifts. As my mom said, we all have our gifts, Brian, right? Oh, by the way, I'm bilingual. For your listeners, I speak 2 languages. I speak Canadian and American. We all have our gifts. We all have our gifts. You know, my mom told us that. I believe it.
You got to drop an A in there now and then I'll believe you.
That's Eastern Canadian. I don't speak that too well. I'm sorry.
Oh, so untrue. You have all those qualities and more. Because I know from working with you personally and watching you and stalking you at times when you have your wonderful master classes, you have all these incredible things that you provide for people and give them so many choices, and every one of them is a no-brainer. And we're going to get into that in depth tonight, I hope, with your privilege or your permission there, Tom. Before I jump all the way in and give you the intro you deserve, because you deserve the best intro on the planet. And the good thing is you wrote it, so I know it's going to be really good.
It's going to be amazing then.
Going to take care of a little bit of
Can I
housekeeping.
call my mom and get her the link so she can listen? Was it too late?
Absolutely. Bring her on now. Let's go. Bring her on. But we have an amazing prize to give away. We have actually several. One is a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And this is compliments of the folks at thebiginsidersecrets.com. It's that big red logo if you're watching on video. If you're listening on podcast, just go to thebiginsidersecrets.com, write that down. Remember to write it down. And they are going to give away, or we are going to give away, because of thebiginsidersecrets.com, a 5-night stay, vacation stay. And trust me, this is valid. This is not, you show up, they shuffle you into a basement and start browbeating you with timeshare pitches and all that. That doesn't happen. This is a real bona fide vacation stay. I know that because the man who provided this to me has himself gone on a vacation from this very resource 3 times. And so we know it's the real deal. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't, to be honest. And then we got a couple more real quick, and then we're going to get busy. Yes.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes. So if you are struggling putting together a live show and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you. I mean, people don't realize how much work goes into these to do it right. And if you want it all, the process is done for you, but at the same time, still enabling you to put on a very high quality show and connect with great people like Mr. Tom Matzen and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing courses, and this is one you will absolutely learn how to master, is the very service we use to stream our live shows right here on the Mind Body Business Show. We're doing it right now. And over the course of over 9 years now, we have tried many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And I'll tell you right now, StreamYard is the best of the best. It combines, it's super easy to use, supreme ease of use, and it has incredible functionality. It's very, very impressive. I'm a software geek and I'm impressed by it. So you can start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows for free with StreamYard now, but not now. You're going to write this down and visit it later. So write this down. The website is ryp.im/StreamLive. All one word, ryp.im/StreamLive. Now let's get to the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man of the week, and the man of the month. And that is all one guy.
Man who's not all he's quacked up to be, like that duck for StreamYard. Yes, indeed. So glad to be here. Is that foul? I mean, saying that, is that a foul? Oh, another duck metaphor. Look out, strap in.
And, I think we were separated at birth, but you must have came out first because you got me by an inch. I'm about 6'2", so
6'2". Man, you're not all you quacked up to be then.
No.
Number 3 duck reference. There we go. 1, 2, 3.
That's why I'm your little brother.
Exactly. And younger, we found out, by about an hour and a half. So, there you go.
Yeah, well, Mom was working hard.
Yeah, she still hasn't forgiven you, but that's a separate story.
Oh, man. I always tell her.
I'm convinced, by the way, Brian, I'm convinced if guys had to give birth, there'd be no children in the world.
There would be none.
There's no way we would put up with the pain and suffering of pregnancy, let alone birth. Are you kidding me? I remember Paula Poundstone. Remember Paula Poundstone, the comic?
Yes.
Yeah. She very funny, very raunchy. She was trying to describe one time how giving birth is to men. She said, okay, men, and how many men in the room have an idea what giving birth is like? She goes, no, you don't. No, let me show you. I want you to grab your lower lip. Okay, everyone grab it. Now pull it up over your head to the back of your neck. And it's just a little bit more painful than that. And I laughed so hard, but I was dating someone then. I wasn't married. And when we had our first child, I was like, oh my God, Paula Poundstone was serious. So, So thank you to all the moms out there. Without you, literally, we wouldn't exist.
Oh yeah, God bless you all. And the women they're the saints, and they're the ones that truly raise the
I
children.
wouldn't go that far. I am divorced now. I don't know about all women being saints, but they're still blessed creatures. I will say that.
All right, let's get into this guy. Let's let you understand who we're talking to, and understand this, that it's great to have a sense of humor, and it's imperative to have fun in business. So you're looking at a very, very successful man right there who has figured out some incredible ways to do business that I cannot wait to share with you tonight. You do not want to miss this, but let's introduce him so you get a better idea of who this young man is. Like how I said that. I threw that young man in there.
I like that. Puffery. We call that puffery in marketing, by the way. Puffery.
Authority entrepreneurs hire Tom to build 7- and 8-figure enterprises. And this is, I'm just going to interject. This is not just talk. This is real. This is bona fide. I work with him now. So take these words to heart. I've read so many like this, Tom, and I sit there and wonder, really?
Yeah.
In this case, yes. The word is yes. The answer is yes. 7- and 8-figure enterprises by helping them package their wisdom and knowledge and build a global movement in the process. Oh, this whole thing is so genius, Tom. Tom has started some 89 businesses of his own, 8 of them to 7 figures and beyond. More importantly, his personal coaching clients have generated more than 100 million in sales in dozens of industries. Already, who wants to work with this guy? I'm in again. I don't care. However, he has made more mistakes on his own businesses already than most people make in a lifetime. This is key. He has made and lost millions several times over. This is what success is all about. Tom Matzen shares his authentic self with podcast communities around the globe with real-life stories of glorious triumphs and colossal failures. That's his authenticity of how he has made and lost millions several times over. Leveraging this priceless knowledge, I'm almost done. Tom is on a mission to empower, check this out, 10,000 authority entrepreneurs to build 7- and 8-figure businesses by December of 2024. There are so many lessons in just this bio alone. I hope you're catching some of them. He's got goal setting. He's specific. He's got a month. He's got the year. He's got the number. I'm one of those 10,000. I'm so blessed. And as a result, we'll offer a special scholarship today to you. One of you lucky peeps is going to get a wonderful scholarship. And I'm telling you, if you're getting it from Tom Matzen, it is no small matter. It's going to be huge. Like the guy himself, he's 6'3". I mean, come on. He must have been born in Texas, then moved to Canada, because everything's big in Texas, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Western Canada, same places where men are men and sheep are scared, son. Oh, no, wait a sec. That's New Zealand. I'm sorry. I got it confused.
Oh, man.
I warned you. It's live, Brian. It's live, man. We're having fun. Welcome.
I would have it no other way.
In addition to the scholarships, Brian's going to give out some Amazon Fire TVs to everyone tuning in tonight. No, we didn't plan for that. Sorry, Brian. No.
Oh my, did we get a special drop-in guest here that I wasn't aware of?
You're the master blaster. I can't tell.
Holy smokes. I got to bring him on just to give you a little surprise. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's from this guy down under. Who is that?
Oh God, from Tomorrowland, joining us live. We're live, David. What you doing,
you guys
man?
Testing. I can't hear you.
You can't hear us. We can hear you, so we can say funny things about David's haircut because he can't hear us right now.
Yeah,
his hair up there is like chop, 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 and he's like swimming away and da 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 da. He's actually a master class swimmer. That's what they call old guys who can swim, Brian, and they don't sink like a rock. He's a master swimmer. I learned that today. He's a competitive master swimmer, but I think he's just an old guy masquerading as a young guy. He considers himself an old guy. Look at him. He's not old.
He is not old. He's a young dude.
He still can't hear us, can he?
No. So maybe message him, have him.
Hey.
There he is.
There, you got that lit up face.
What are you doing? I hope you guys are testing. What are you doing putting me on Spotlight?
We're live. We're broadcasting live. I shared the link. I said, come join us live. And only one person showed up. That's you.
Oh, you shared the live. Oh, that was the wrong live. Okay. Got it.
I shared the link and I said, share this now. I didn't hear back, so I just shared it. I'm an entrepreneur. Ask permission. No, just share it. You'll mess it up. Give me the right link. I'll share it to my tribe.
Cool. Well, David, I'll bring you back here in a minute. I wanted to talk to Tom, and stay with us, though, will you?
Yeah, for 5 minutes.
We'll introduce you and let everybody know he's part of the Tom Matzen Circle of Life, I like to call it. So,
Kuna Matata, baby. Kuna Matata. He's the brains. I'm the looks,
right.
which is
He's
kind of
not a
scary
mention.
for our business, but on both counts.
All right, hang with us, David. Cool. What a great surprise. That was awesome. I'm like, well, how did that happen? All right, that's cool. That's the first time.
By the
too.
way, that was all the way from Melbourne, Australia, for those tuning in.
Yeah.
Literally down under where it is tomorrow. It is Wednesday in Melbourne, Australia.
We have Bowen from up above and Australia from down under. I love it.
That's right.
So that makes me the meat. You guys are the bread. Sweet.
You're the Oreo. You're the white part of the Oreo. We're the black wafers.
Absolutely. So your accolades are phenomenal. The bio and everything in there that you've had 89 businesses. I mean, most people can't say they've had one.
Clearly, I can't focus. That part's obvious. Yes.
Well, and there's reasons I'm imagining behind the 89 because you're a joint venture specialist expert and you work by making relationships happen. And I imagine that's part of that equation, why there are so many involved, where you're a part of the company. And it seems like you are a master at leveraging other people's talents and bringing people together to achieve a common goal. What I was kind of talking about in the beginning of the segment here. But what I wanted to do is kind of peel back the onion a little bit and go more from just what people can observe, read, and hear about you. But what is it about you, Tom, the man, the myth, in that big, beautiful brain? What is going on there that makes you unique, you and so many others that are successful, that makes you so unique? Because every time we get up in the morning, we're faced with challenges. As entrepreneurs, a lot of people think, oh, it's easy. You make your million, you sit in this swinging hammock with an umbrella drink, and you just relax the rest of the life. And no, nothing could be farther from the truth. So for you, Tom, what is going on in your big, beautiful brain when you're about to take on yet another, like you had today, a very, very filled day of tasks? What keeps you going day in and day out and keeps you so positive and lighthearted all the time?
Well, I appreciate the question. For me, I learned a long time ago that being positive is just a lot more fun than being a grouch. Plain and simple. And there were many points along the way in my early career where it didn't come naturally, to be sure. And like you, I invested heavily in seminars and workshops and training programs and became a real seminaraholic junkie in the early years. And then it was a Tony Robbins event in Hawaii, Life Mastery with 1,600 crazies from around the planet for 9 days. Tony runs that event. I assume it's still the same today, from 6 a.m. at the latest start until about 10 p.m. at the earliest finish, 9 days in a row. And about halfway through, when you're exhausted and completely surrendered to his approach, he then taught a methodology to permanently link in any belief system you want in about 2 hours. And the idea was he would teach it to us so we could teach it to others. Right. As you know, Brian, he calls it neuroassociative conditioning, which was his name for NLP. Same basic structure. But this particular approach I'd never heard of. And he went through this whole exercise, and everyone in the room had to come up with this like life-changing mantra, if you will, and anchor it in solid. And mine was, I'm an unlimited energy producing machine capable of simultaneously regenerating as much energy as I need on demand. And from that moment to today, I am an unlimited energy producing machine capable of simultaneously regenerating all the energy I need on demand. Literally every single fiber of my being locked that in. Now, it's one of those anchors that I didn't want to get rid of. I could have gotten rid of it over the years, but I liked it. It served me. So part of it was that it was a conscious decision to have high energy. And by the way, a mind body business, the middle one, that's not always served me, because that means whether I work out every day like I do now, or whether I work out every month, or whether I work out occasionally in the year, I still had unlimited energy. I still had unlimited passion for what I was doing. And so, I'm not saying it's the perfect solution, and I'm not saying it's the solution for everyone, but it certainly worked for me. And then the second big thing relating to your question is I learned to bounce back. Every entrepreneur goes through ups and downs. You know that. We were talking about that in the green room before we started. It's part of the journey, right? Ups and downs are part of the journey. And what I realize now is it's not about eliminating the ups and downs. Rather, it's about shortening the down. The journey is about shortening the down, right? How quickly can you bounce back up? Because if you think you're not going to have any downs, right? If you're a crypto trader that knows no possible world but always up, good luck with that model in the real world of business. Right, Brian?
Absolutely. And,
are you ordering pizza for us? I'm excited.
You're dropping a lot of bombs of wisdom, knowledge, and smart bombs. So we just got to do this.
I knew something was happening there. I knew I was being set up for something.
I mean, goodness sakes, it's about shortening the downs. They are going to happen. And in fact, yeah, you have to be ready for them. You have to expect them. It's something that's just part of the game, so to speak. And the sooner you can accept it, and just, there's that one book, Go for No, right? That's always telling you to go for the next no. That just basically softens the blow of those downs. Yeah. If you know that you're going to get more no's than yeses, which I'll tell you something, if you work with Tom, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to say that now. But if you have that mindset of, look, I can handle this. I know that I'm going to get no's. I can expect.
Yeah, I would clarify something on that one, because this is something I've learned as I've gotten more mature, or at least older. I don't know if I'm ever going to get mature. I'm getting older for sure. That's a fact. What I've learned is that no's are not downs. No's are not downs. No's are just no's, just like a yes. They're just a thing. And the energy you give it might make it a down, yes, or it might make it an up, or it might be a neutral. As you know, we screen and qualify all of our high ticket program people through a strategy session. And our job is to screen and qualify and award that position or not. And so we will reject people, they will reject us. And that's part of the healthy journey back and forth. But our goal is never to convert a certain percentage. Our goal is, if it's a perfect fit, we want them to proceed. And if it's not a perfect fit, we don't want them to proceed. Now, that ends up being roughly 1 in 3 of those conversations, but that's never the goal. The goal is 100% of the perfect fit only. And if you're selling anything that's high ticket out there, if you're tuning in tonight and you're selling anything that's high ticket, that should be your goal too. You want to screen, qualify, and award your business, period, full stop. Not sell it, not pitch it at all. And so for me, the no's are just part of the journey. They're kind of like weather, right? Your attitude around the weather determines how you go through the day. I live in a temperate rainforest, right? If you don't like rain, you don't live in a temperate rainforest, right? We get a lot of rain up here. We don't have droughts very, very often up here. It happens, but not very often. And so, your attitude towards rain affects your day, right? I learned a long time ago to call it liquid sunshine. Now, do I really believe it's liquid sunshine? No, it's rain. And usually the rain here is kind of cool. It's not the rain where Brian is, where it's usually kind of warm, right? So it's not even pleasant rain. Let's be clear. Rain in Hawaii, pleasant rain. Rain in Belize, pleasant rain. Rain in Vancouver, usually pretty chilly and not so pleasant. But if you let it get you down, then good luck dealing with the other ups and downs of business, right? So to me, that's a bit of what builds that dynamic for me. There are a few other things, but I think that's a good starting point to that answer. Does that help?
Absolutely. And I often say, you can let your attitude control your circumstances. You can let your circumstances control your attitude, or you can let your attitude dictate your circumstances. And you just said it right there. Everything you said. And the reason I was saying with no's being a down was most people treat it as rejection, and most people don't like rejection, who aren't grizzled vets, who have not gone through the process, who have not gone through the mindset work, who have not gone through the sales training and everything that's necessary to get past that and be fueled by it. And just know it's part of the process. And I love how you reiterated that a perfect fit. And that's another lesson in its own right for everyone out there is you don't want to work with everyone. I mean, how many times, Tom, have you gone to these events and asked people, well, who's your target market? Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's going to be
or they think they're narrowing it down because they say entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
women entrepreneurs. Right? Like they're 70% of all new entrepreneurs. That doesn't narrow it down. That's not a target audience. That's people who can fog a mirror, right? My favorite example is left-handed chiropractors, right? If that was your ideal market, think how good that would be, right? I mean, we all know left-handed people are kind of a little wacky to begin with. And then they're a chiropractor, which are kind of little odd ducks to begin with on top of that. So you got odd duck and wacky combined together. Well, if that was your audience, you would speak their language. You would communicate with them so passionately that any other left-handed chiropractor would be like, that's my tribe. Brian's talking my language, right? So part of picking your target audience and niching down, as the Yanks like to say, or niching down, as the Canadians say, right? See, I told you I'm bilingual, Brian. You niche down because you can better address their needs. You can better address their pain points. You can better serve them, frankly.
Yeah. And it's a two-way street too, because if they're not a fit, they're not a fit for you either as the business owner, because they're gonna end up sucking your time dry with if you don't properly qualify them and know that they're a fit. It's not just do they have a credit card with room on it. That doesn't mean they're a fit. In fact, it may be the opposite, right, Tom? That if they don't have enough money, they might be a better fit.
All the time. We see that all the time. We primarily sell, as you know, high ticket programs, and we see it all the time. Some of the best fits are the least financially qualified. They're emotionally qualified, experientially qualified, values qualified. They just happen to be broke or have cash flow problems, right? And I always say this on master classes. If you've been on ours, don't let lack of cash flow today stop you having the cash flow you desire tomorrow. Like there are lots of reasons not to do something, but lack of cash flow is not a reason not to do something. That's just a challenge to figure out how to overcome. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you should buy everything whatsoever. You shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. But don't let lack of cash flow be the reason you're not getting your results. Don't let that be the reason, because it's just a story. It's just a story we tell ourselves. That's all.
It is. And I love that. I appreciate you bringing that to the forefront. My mentor did a masterful job, just as you do, in making that a point, because it's true. And people can sit there and think, yeah, you're just saying that because you want to sell me. It's not that. Please, it's not that. I know Tom well enough to know specifically with him, that's not it. It wasn't that with my mentor. I've taken on that value system. It's not that with me. It's only that we don't want you to miss out on the best life you have coming in the future because of resistance, hesitation, fear, that voice that's telling you you can't do it and you shouldn't do it because you don't have money today. The whole thing is, what I learned, and Tom, this was something that has changed my life forever, is I just say this one word. If I feel it, if I know it's good for me, and I know it's something I want to do, finances there or not, I just say one word and everything moves into action. And there was a movie made that has just one word in it, and it's, well, actually there's two in the movie, but that one doesn't count. It's called yes. You just say yes and move.
I thought it was going to be Geronimo for you. I thought for sure it was going to be Geronimo.
And just go to the back of the room, or if you're in a seminar, get on with someone in Tom's team, whatever it happens to be. I'll guarantee you they'll come up with some way to make it work for you.
If you're a good fit. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Of course.
And I want to just talk about that because it's something that I often hear people say, selling is this, selling is this, selling is this. Here's what I've learned. Nothing in the world meaningful happens without selling. Nothing meaningful in the world. All right. You propose to your bride to be. That's a sales pitch. Any one of you that have been down that path, the first lady I proposed to said no. Well, okay. She said not right now, which was code for no. She wanted to be polite. Okay. Fair enough. But nonetheless, she said no. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what impactful things in your world, selling is what makes it happen. There's a friend of mine who's a money block remover. She removes money blocks for people. Phelan Crandall. She's the secret weapon to some of the best people in our space, Brian, that names you would recognize. You're like, wow. Yeah. And they all call her secret weapon. And she has a saying, selling is serving. Selling is serving. If you don't believe in selling, then you don't care about your clients. You don't care about them. I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. Now, I'm not talking about stereotypical selling, that sleazy, yucky stuff that none of us like. No, that's stereotypical selling. I'm talking about genuinely seeing if it's a good fit and inspiring them to take action to change their lives. Now, Brian and I are fortunate. The world we play in, we're literally changing people's lives, right? You might not be in that world. You might be, I mean, there's good feelings and solution to problems, right? Those are the two big things out there. You might just be in the good feelings business, right? Nothing wrong with that, right? There's a lot of good feelings things that we have missed during COVID that we really appreciated before, right? Like I remember walking by a shopping center wistfully going, I used to go for a cinnamon bun there occasionally, right? And now I can't even be bothered. I'm not eating a cinnamon bun with a mask and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? When the airports open back up and I start traveling again, I'll be at a Cinnabon having a Cinnabon in one of those airports. I guarantee it. It's a little thing, but it was a small indulgence, right? So not everyone solves the world's problems, but whatever you do, whether it's good feelings or solve problems, it starts with selling. It starts with selling. So shift your mindset around stereotypical selling, which is BS, manipulation, crap. We don't endorse it. Brian doesn't endorse it. It's not part of it. To serving at its highest level. And you know what will happen? Your income will change. Your impact will change, and you'll have a much better life along the way. Okay, I got a little preachy there, Brian. Give me an amen, Brian. Give me an amen, brother.
You go right there.
Woo, there we go. Carpet bombing. Love it.
Bomb run there. Yeah, serving is selling. And I'll tell you, from my vantage point, that took a while for me to ingrain. It wasn't natural because of what you just said, what everybody thinks of selling as the used car salesman with the cigar, the door-to-door vacuum salespeople that used to happen when I was a kid, probably don't do that anymore. Well, they literally the wife would open the door and they would literally just step in, throw dirt on the carpet. What are you going to do? You got to let them clean it now. I mean, just crazy stuff. No, that is not the right type of selling. And that's not what Tom or I are talking about. And you're absolutely right, Tom. Selling is serving. In fact, it would be a disservice if Tom or I did not sell you the service we provide, because we're here to help you to improve your life, not to just take money from your account and put it into ours.
My number one mentor for years was Jay Abraham. Still is a mentor, but I don't no longer work with him as my personal coach. But I love the man. He's super brilliant, marketing genius. If you're listeners, you don't know Jay Abraham, he's like the $21 billion man, right? You read Brian, I help my clients generate over 100 million in sales before I stopped counting. He stopped counting at 21 billion. Okay. Like he's like super genius, super smart guy. And there's a quote that we give out to all of our clients in their welcome kit. And it's on a binder. We don't put our logo on the binder. We put Jay's quote. And Jay's quote, where's my binder? It's sitting right. Where's my binder? Oh, all right here. I don't know if it'll show up if the camera's reversed or not. Yeah, it's reversed.
That's all right.
I'll read it. It says, if you have a product that delivers value, you have a moral obligation to serve as many people as you can. You have a moral obligation. Well, guess what? You can't serve a lot of people if you don't embrace selling. Does that mean you have to do all the selling in your company? Of course not. But you need to embrace it, because that's how you change people's lives, right? If you have a product or service that delivers value, I agree with Jay. You have a moral obligation to serve as many people as you can. It's not about the money. The money is just a measuring stick. In a Western free market society, it's a measuring stick for value. It can also be a lot of other stuff. Let's be clear, right? There's a lot of abuses in a Western society too, right? You're not just Eastern societies that have abuse. We have abuse too. But done right, money is a measuring stick. It's a measuring stick of value, right? It's the value you bring to the table. And if you're not getting a lot of money in your life, you're probably not bringing a lot of value in your life, right? So you might want to look at, is it my attitude around selling that's possibly holding me back? Holding me back. There are plenty of classy ways to sell, plenty of honorable ways to sell. Brian knows a bunch. I know a bunch. There's lots of people out there who teach honorable ways to sell. But you can't even bother with that until you open your mind up to say, you know what? I'd like to learn how to serve at a higher level. In fact, I'm called to serve at a higher level. And once you learn that, then you can figure out the other stuff. You can figure out the other stuff.
Amen. I'm going to wear out this bomb run button. I'm going to hold off on this one, but it's funny. This is only the third show I've used that little bombing run animation. The first person that I used it with was a woman, and she said, "We should make this a competition and see which speaker gets the most of those." I love that. That's a great idea. And then at the end, she told me, "Okay, I got 8."
Love it.
So funny. But I want to hear more of you and less of the bombs dropping. So
yeah, you need to ask me more questions. Then I got 5 more to go. Not that I was paying attention to that or anything, but.
But you hit the nail on the head. If you have money issues, that means you're not showing or giving or providing or offering enough value. And for me, like when I first started getting this whole concept, Tom, it was not I wasn't selling my own stuff. I was crewing for my mentor. This is before I became his lead trainer. This was as I was growing through the organization. And one of the things we were tasked with doing was, grabbing specific people in the audience at a specific time and basically selling them, opening them to the opportunity, we would call it. And I remember the key ingredient for really making it successful and having it work was the level of confidence that each of us had in what we were offering on behalf of him. And until that finally hit, I knew it was a good product. I had been through all the trainings. These were advanced NLP trainings we were selling, and I had been through them. I knew they worked. I intellectually I was confident, but inside I wasn't oozing confidence about it because I was thinking I was selling. And I hadn't gotten over that hump of, no, I'm serving. And it's a disservice if I don't convince them, in a nice way that, look, they're here because they're asking me questions because they're interested. It changed my life. I know it will change theirs. I've got to do my best to convince them to say yes, no matter what. If I don't, I just let them down. Once I learned that.
Yeah. Huge. Your whole life changes, right?
Yeah.
Your whole life changes. And there are plenty of different styles. We've got clients in our high-end programs that are completely introverted, shy, quiet people who can sell like crazy. And we've got type A personalities, the stereotypical salesperson who can't sell at all. So your personality style and what's effective in selling don't always, part of what you need to do is you need to find a style that works with your personality style, a style of selling that works with the personality style. That's for sure. Right? I'm an introvert. I don't like to speak in public in my natural state, but I play one on TV. I play an extrovert on TV, actually, right? When I'm in this situation, I know if there's 1 or 2 or 2,000 people tuning in, there is an opportunity for me to help change your life. And so I'm not going to be laid back and quiet and like, I don't know. Well, that sounds good, Brian, whatever. Like, what is that? What good's that going to do? Right? I got to up my game. Right? I got to up my game. And that's the other thing is entrepreneurs, we get so spoiled in the internet world because it's so easy to launch a business for so little money. My first 10, 12 years, I was helping people start bricks and mortar businesses, restaurants, cafes, retail shops. A cheap business was $50,000. A typical business was $125,000. And of the hundreds of businesses I helped launch, almost all of them didn't have the money to start. They had to go raise the money. So not only did it cost a lot of money, they were borrowing it or raising it or getting from investors or leveraging their house to even pull it off. So there was all that added risk. And, kids nowadays go, oh, it's so expensive to start an online business because they have to spend $97 a month on a sales navigator upgrade at LinkedIn. And they're like, do I have to really do that? I get 30 days free. Can I do that, then cancel it? Like, that's not, a business or hobby. Business or hobby. Okay, I'm getting preachy again. All right, Brian, let's get back focused. Focus, Brian. You get me wandering again.
No, it's all gold. And, you're saying such great things because it all comes down to the importance of having what we call skin in the game, money, investment, something that might be a little bit painful, a little bit worrisome, like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to pay this off? When you have that driving you, a little bit of it is actually good because it will really motivate you. It will motivate you to hit the finish line. You will look, it takes a lot of work for any successful business. Even if you put down $100,000 on a program, you still need to work. You still need to work hard and you need to be consistent, persistent, take action, do all of those things. It doesn't change that whatsoever, but it will change your attitude on finally getting it to the finish line, which so many people fall short of.
Yeah.
And I've been there. So
I
I can
agree with all of that, but one. I'm going to call issue with one of those things. And I think when you hear what I'm calling issue on, you might agree. I think most entrepreneurs' definition, or most people's definition of work hard, is wrong. I agree you need to work hard, but my definition of work hard isn't the conventional 30, 60, 80 hours going, like more push. To me, work hard is being smart about it, being strategic, learning from your mistakes, planning how do you build leverage into what you're doing, or what my old mentor Michael Gerber called working on your business instead of in your business all the time. That is hard work because it's very easy to stay in your business. It's much more effort to work on your business from up above and put systems in place so you can train people and all these other elements. So, but that's not the conventional work hard of push. It's a learn, adapt, adjust, like in the military, right? If you don't adapt, what was this saying about, was it Patton? All great plans survive until first contact with the enemy. I think it was Patton. I'm not sure. Right. Like, I mean, you got to adjust. That's carpet bombable. Come on. That's carpet bombable. I've ever heard one.
I'm just not old enough to remember that, Tom.
Oh, yeah. Darn it. Fortunately, right.
Of our big 1 year of separation that we have.
Yeah, exactly. Love it. No,
but
all right. So how can we help people out tonight? What else can we do?
I totally agree with you on that. All the way, about working hard. That was a loaded word for sure. And thank you for clarifying that. Yeah. And I wanted to talk about your approach. You had something called a Strategic Alliance Summit back in January that I attended. It's the first time I really got to know what made you tick as an attendee. We hadn't met yet. Hadn't talked one-on-one. And then I couldn't wait after it was over. When is the next one? And I know you were hit hard with everyone saying, when's the next one? That's a good sign. And you now have a new one coming up. It's called Strategic Alliance Live. And I will tell my piece about it, Tom, because we were talking before we got on live here. I've been to so many seminars, like you were saying, we're both junkies at one point. And I have so many of those lanyards and the badges that go with them. I still keep them to this day. When I put them on, they're thick ropes. And they would put Mr. T to shame if he had all those gold chains on. They were huge. And the thing is, I've been to a lot of them and I've gotten good value from some, and some were just kind of, wow, that was nice. And here's the thing. Yours in January was virtual 100% due to obvious reasons. Everyone's going through it. And the thing is, when you go virtual, you already have that target on you, like you're virtual. It's going to be difficult to pull this off. It's difficult to pull it off. The thing is, you guys pulled it off. I mean, my God. I measure things not just by the experience, that's part of it, of the entire event, but the biggest thing for me is what were the results that I got from it at the end or even during.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been to many seminars, and I was telling you this earlier. I don't know how many. I lost count. But I only hold 2 in the highest regard and of results generating and value based. And yours is one of those 2 on a virtual platform. The other one was physical.
I appreciate that so much, Brian. It means a lot because, for us, the reason to get people together is to help each other grow. I help each other in business. That means what? That means more clients, more partners, more strategic partners, more joint ventures. Right? It's not about knowledge. Right? Dr. Google can give us 1 million pages on any topic in the world, and they'll tell you 0.67 seconds, right? Like they'll tell you how fast they can give you 1 million pages on any topic in the world, or 2 million or 8 million pages. We don't need more information. What we need is more results. And so for us, I'm honored to hear that feedback. We had done the event live in person for 6 years. And it was the highlight of my year. We would go to a fancy resort hotel and we'd get people together, 3, 4, 5 dozen people, hand curated, and we would do deals in the morning. And then we'd break for lunch and go to the pool or the spa or the golf course in the afternoon or the beach and just get to know each other, right? Build genuine trust relationships. And it was the highlight of my year. We would do hundreds, thousands of dollars worth of deals. We'd make a bunch, $1 million or $2 million in follow-on business out of it. and we'd have the best vacation you could possibly have because you're enjoying it and you're doing it. But it would be $5, $6, $7 a person just to come. And because of that, our tickets were also very expensive. If you haven't booked events in high-end hotels, you'll pay $70 a gallon for coffee for your guests. You'll pay $70 a gallon of water for the tea for your guests. You'll pay $40 for a basic lunch, plus tax, tipping, whatever. They come up with a whole level of taxes in these fancy hotels. Like a $40 lunch is $75. I don't know how they get that. Like usually most businesses would be thrown in jail. It's $40, Brian. Can I have 75, please? Like, that'd be called fraud in most places, not in hotels. No, that's just normal, right? So all these extra costs were added on. So when we decided to go virtual with this, we're like, okay, we're going to make it better. We're going to make it better than live. And that's a tough standard, but we're super proud of it. It's like no event anyone's been to, unless you've been to one of them, because as you know, no speakers, no trainers, no information coming at you. It's all getting to know your new potential partners in breakouts. We facilitate it. We guide you. We give you the structure, and then we do breakouts, and you go do your deals. And we love it. It's fantastic. We're doing it again in June. We're going to do it 3 times a year now. The one in January was the world's largest deal-making event. June will be bigger. June will be bigger for sure. And not just because Brian and I will be there, because there'll be more people there. We're excited. We're super excited.
Yeah, and I can't wait again to be a part of that after going through it the first time, and from an observer standpoint, an attendee, if you will. When I went through it, it was by invitation only. And I got invited by Lois Kofi. I wanted to give her a shout out. She's an amazing young woman, amazing businesswoman who gave me the link to get in. And it was basically my ticket to freedom, to liberation, to excitement, to everything. I mean, this was the most, and I don't want to make this sound like ridiculously over glowing, but it was for me. I'm just being honest.
Well, and here's the thing. You've been there and done that, got the t-shirt and the lanyards to prove it. The reality is most events are designed to make the event host what a good friend and mentor of mine calls a purpose-driven payday. Like that's the purpose. They're doing these events for a purpose-driven payday. For whom? For them. Yeah. Right? So there's an entire narrative of taking you through this emotional gap analysis, going through the ups and downs so that you realize without their help, you're not going to make it. And I don't begrudge that model. I don't judge that model. I admire it. I participate in it. We're now developing our own virtual events that will use that exact model. This event happens to be different. This event is about the attendees prospering. And yes, we make an offer. And yes, we did very well out of that last event. And we'll do very well out of this next event, but only if people crush it at the event. Well, I kind of like that. As you know, all of our programs, we guarantee results, Brian. This is like the ultimate guarantee. In fact, the event ticket, we're so confident that you'll do at least $100,000 in deals. You can sign up and pay after the event, right? You get a choice. You sign up, pay after the event, $147 only if you're ecstatic with the results. That's how confident we are that you'll come and get value out of it. Now, we got to earn it, but that's our job. We're happy to do that. You've been there, Brian. You know we earn it. We're happy to do that.
Yeah, and nobody has, in my experience, and maybe there has been one other on the planet. I don't know, but I've never experienced anything like this where you're exactly what you said. It's attendee centric. It's about the people that are there. Yeah, you were the main guy. You were there all the 4 or 5 days that it ended up going. And that kudos to you. That takes a lot of energy. I know, and even if you're sitting down and not standing up.
I'm an unlimited energy producing machine, though. Remember?
That's right. I love it.
It was easy. I did.
It was phenomenal.
What you didn't know is we were also simultaneously running a VIP event in parallel, different hours. Why at the same time? That was just a stupid brains, but nonetheless, we did. So we were going from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. So you saw half of me. And another half was doing that with our VIPs. So it was crazy. Well, now at least we're smart enough to do that 2 different days. And the main event, these 3 days, we've separated it. So now I'll get some sleep. So that's good.
Yeah, I remember you guys making comment about now we're going to go off and do our mastermind. Then we'll come back after the break. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I love. There's so many things I love about it. You don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. You and everyone else involved, David Kellum, I forgot the other guy's name, Nina
George
Ventura,
Shepard,
and you guys have a phenomenal team, and there are many more behind the scenes that aren't up in the front during these. But the thing is the breakouts, they were so valuable, Tom. I mean, I made some incredible relationships out of this, and that's what business building is all about, is relationships. I had no less than, and I wasn't even being aggressive about it, but I got 6 appointments to talk to other attendees, and it wasn't to sell each other. It was just to see, could we collaborate? Could we make a deal? And it's because of the way you framed it, the way you put it together, Tom. It made it so easy, so non-threatening. So
I was doing an interview earlier today for our 7-Figure Strategic Alliance podcast, and one of the guys called this one of the things we do. He called it by a name I hadn't heard before, and I went, "Oh, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that." He goes, "Okay, no problem." Embedded programs where you take your wisdom and knowledge and help put it inside someone else's program, and now the program is better and bigger and adds more value, and everybody wins. That's one of the things that happened at this event, right? You have the potential to do embedded programs where you take your wisdom and knowledge and add it to this person, and the end result is something way better than either of you could do on your own. It's not just, I've got a list, you got a product, let me promote it, right? That's joint ventures. We call this strategic alliances and joint ventures because a lot of people understand joint ventures. Nothing wrong with them, right? They're a big part of our business model. But above that is something way better, right? You're one of our VIP clients now, right? We're working on helping build a 7-figure brand for you around your passion and your wisdom and your knowledge. And you're interviewing me on your show so I can understand it. I can appreciate it. We can add value to your tribe. You're inviting people to come to the summit. Some of those people will reach out to you and do business with you at the summit, after the summit. That's strategic alliances. That's strategic alliances, right? All the way through.
And right on cue. So I'll bring that up so people can see where to go to enroll for this. And again, there's no cost up front. You only pay if you got everything. You're going to get so much more than the ticket price.
Now you will get a choice. I will tell everyone, once you opt in for $1 test trial on your card, you will then be given a choice if you want to prepay for $97 and get about 7 bonuses, right? So you can pay after the event, $147. Happy to have you there all day long. Or if you want to prepay, you'll save a bit of money and do that. So I just want everyone tuning in to know you got a choice when you do that. And we're happy either way.
Fantastic. So I just pulled up the website for those of you watching live or on recorded video. And this is the URL you want to go to and see if it's a fit for you. If you're in business and you want to take it to the next level, and I mean to the next big level, which I think everyone really dreams about doing, then this is a no-brainer. And it just invest 3 days of your time and very little bit of money, ultimately. And so go to ryp.im/SAL. Very important. Make that all lowercase. ryp.im/SAL. That stands for Strategic Alliance Live. You can see it on the
Romeo Yankee Papa Indigo Mike /Sierra Alpha Lima.
Love it. We got
military shout out for you there, boys.
I love it. Well, you know what? That's deserving of something. Then we got to honor that.
I love it. Oh, yeah. Knowledge. I even said knowledge on the bomb before it blew up. Thank you.
That's right. Knowledge bomb. Wow. Yes. Phenomenal. And you had another gift. So we're kind of at the end, but I got a couple more things to do if you're okay with that. I know you've had a long day, Tom, but there is one question I'm going to ask you because I ask every guest.
Absolutely happy to do that. And then definitely want to talk the scholarship for sure.
Yeah. So let's do the scholarship now. Let's take.
So the fastest way for you to make money in your business is to build a high ticket program around your wisdom and knowledge, or research authority wisdom and knowledge. Build a high ticket program that guarantees results for your clients. We didn't talk about any of this on today's show, but that's the fastest way to build a profitable business. To prove it to you, we're going to give away a scholarship for our most profit producing program. It's a $10,000 program where you learn to create, blueprint, validate, and sell your first or your next high ticket program in the next 4 months. And we're not just giving away one. Every single person who hears this, watches this, goes to the site, can apply. I will tell you, we asked some questions, and if you don't qualify, you'll be rejected, and we'll send you some free training. But right now, 81%. We gave away $5 million worth of scholarships in the last 12 months, Brian. $5 million worth of scholarships. We want to give away another $5 million the rest of 2021. So if you think you've got a high ticket program in you, or maybe have one in you, you absolutely should take advantage of this. It's our gift for coming on today. The links will be down below. You got the links, Brian, there?
I do not. I was going to ask you about that.
Let me get the link to you right now then.
Go on up and I'll paste it in.
I will put that in the chat box for you. There you go.
Got it.
And you'll see the link in a moment, entrepreneurempowerment.org/scholarship. And I mean, if you have no authority and don't plan to develop one, you won't get accepted. If you won't put any time in, you won't get accepted. But other than that, you'll get accepted, and it's our gift. We know if you get in and you develop a high ticket program and you make some money, guess what? You're going to tell other people about the work we do. You're going to refer other people. You're going to come to Strategic Alliance Live. You might even come to one of the VIP Strategic Alliance Live events. You're going to engage and flourish. And more importantly, as an entrepreneur, you're now serving your tribe. You're now serving your tribe in a great way. So our gift to you guys.
Tom, and I'm not kidding, and this is not like for humor sake. I have goosebumps under my jacket right now because I'm so excited and so blessed to have, cross paths with you and your entire organization, because you guys and people are just getting the surface of what makes Tom Matzen tick and your whole organization. That the more time I spent in your 3-hour master classes and the whole Strategic Alliance Summit that was in January, and anytime I saw your name and you were doing something like, I'm going to get more of this, just your authenticity, your integrity, your character, everything shines through. And you're one of those very rare individuals that truly gets it. That gets it. Knows, there's not one like ounce of me that's questioning, well, should I do this? It's like, come on. And so I say that on purpose because I want people to really take this to heart. And it's on the screen now. For those of you listening on podcast, it's entrepreneurempowerment.org. If you don't know how to spell entrepreneur, please look it up on Google. We don't have time to spell it right now. entrepreneurempowerment.org/scholarship. Again, all lowercase. entrepreneurempowerment.org/scholarship. The worst that could happen is they might say no. And as you know, that's not a down no. That's just part of the process.
Just a thing. It's just a thing, right?
But if you don't apply, if you throw a dart and there's no dartboard in front of you, you're certainly not to hit it, right? So you need to actually take aim and go through the form and apply and see what happens. And my God, the best thing that can happen is that you get involved with Tom and his organization. And if that doesn't work, if you get a no, I would then highly recommend, don't give up there. Now go back and enroll to the Strategic Alliance Live. And now
if people are rejected, we send them deep dive training material to help them figure out how to develop an authority or a business. We don't give up on you. We don't give up on you. In fact, we're demonstrating that by giving away $10,000 scholarships. We don't give up on you if you don't qualify. In fact, we actually feel more obligation to help you even more. So rest assured, Brian, if they get rejected, they'll get sent all sorts of great training and content. And our philosophy is to give away our best stuff. We do it all the time. It's part of our approach. If you're in the information world, you should give away your best stuff. You'll make more money. Plain and simple.
Awesome. Yeah, and I do know that, having experienced it. My gosh, I want to go another 3 hours. I know you don't want to, but I'm going to. No, I'm kidding. So I did promise everybody, and I got to adhere to my promises. And that is that, remember, for those of you that watch live, we're going to give away a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And we're going to do that right now because in a moment, right after that, we're going to ask Tom a very deep dive question that
I'll put my deep dive hat on.
Yes. It's a very profound question, Tom. It's the answers have been unbelievable, and I can't wait. It's going to be a game changer for people. Yep. And we'll come back to that in just a moment. Now, before we started, or as we started, I was telling you how important it was to take notes, to write, to keep your gaze here. Well, right now, we both give you very temporary permission to take your gaze away from the screen and pull up your phone. take out your phone and pull out your text messaging app, because here is how you can enter to win. And then we'll get to Tom's big question here in just a second. So where you would actually go to put in the name of the person you're going to send a text to, instead put in this number, 314-665-1767. And write that down, by the way, because we're going to pull this down so we can get to Tom's question and let that man have the rest of his evening.
314-665-1767.
Yeah, with his radio voice.
That was a good year, 1767, wasn't it, Brian? Oh, man.
Well, yeah, I remember it well.
The whiskey was so good in 1767.
I love it.
The cheese, not so much. The cheese, not so much. It was kind of rough.
The beer was warm. Yeah.
Yeah, yuck.
And then where you would actually type in the message, like where you would put the emojis in that area of your text messaging app, type in the 2 words separated by a hyphen. These 2 words, peak, P-E-A-K, dash, vacation. Peak dash vacation. And then just keep an eye on your phone after you do that. You don't have to do it right away, but there will be another question asked of you, and that's simply your email address. Once you supply that, you are then officially entered into our automated prize giveaway system.
Ooh,
and
I like
you
it.
will be ready to
Prizes and automation, 2 of my favorite things.
Yeah, baby. It's all about automation. And I was coined by a friend of mine. I didn't do this, but they called me the automation master. And I said, I'm going to go with that. I like it. All right. So this question, Tom, here's the cool thing.
17. Oh, no, wait for the question. Wait for the question.
There is no such thing as a wrong answer. It doesn't exist.
Oh, now I'm really in trouble. I remember these ones in school, at university. These were the questions that I hated. I like answerable questions. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go on. No, you'll love this
inner voice. Keep quiet, Tom.
Yeah, it's actually the opposite. The only correct answer is yours. It's a little, it's not horribly, but it's a little bit personal, just because of that reason. I love
personal. Let's go.
Yeah. So I guess you're ready then, huh?
I was born ready, baby. I came out screaming and yelling.
All right, here we go. Tom Matzen, how do you define success?
Oh, the progressive realization of worthwhile dreams and goals. Progressive realization, you're moving towards it. Worthwhile, they matter to you. Dreams, the big picture stuff, and goals, the stuff with the dates. You've decided now it's time. The progressive realization of worthwhile dreams and goals. It's actually the reason we're here in the planet in the first place. So that's success to me.
You know what that's worthy of, don't you?
Oh, baby, some smart bombs, some wisdom bombs. Oh, and a knowledge super bomb.
Yes, sirree. This has been the one, the only Tom Matzen on the Mind Body Business Show. Thank you so much, Tom. This was so much fun. I truly
enjoyed it. Brian. It's a real pleasure. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate that. And I'll wait for that new motorhome you promised me to come on your show. I'm super excited.
You got it.
Motorhomes aren't allowed on Bone Island. You come up here. We'll have some wine. I will absolutely host you up here. You'll love it.
All right. I'll take you up on that invitation once they allow us to cross the border, if that's even possible. All right, my brother. Well, on behalf of this amazing man, Tom Matzen, I am Brian Kelly, your host of the Mind Body Business Show. We will be back again really, really soon. Until then, take care. Be blessed. So long for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.